Yeah. Turn the music up, turn the lights down, I'm in my zone.
Turn the lights out, I'm zoning. No laws. Moorish Master MC, Mike Dynamo, Cyclops. Mastermind bro with the Frankenstein flow. Drink water out the bottle, but I rather alkaline though. When I spit, it's acidic, mystic, druidic, shaman. The beat is hair devil hair, I'm Marvin the Martian. No cartoons, this is not animation. Through hip-hop, reach tip-top activation. Similar to military or cause for credit. Call the medic, I trip rappers out like psychedelic. Rush tunes, spit magic mushrooms. On the corner, speak law to cops and hush goons. Ride beats like witch brooms or carpets flying. On Earth's atmosphere around, belts are rocking. Media shower flow, call it what you like. Galactic on the mic, call me dynamite. It's dynamite. I'm dynamite. Dynamite. Astrologic Northwest Middle Earth Moorish hobbits make dirty Moors punishment be run through gauntlets. I'm at the Last Supper laughing, drinking from goblets engraved with the names of all crucified prophets. Thoughts ecliptic around the sun like comets. Star deities with locks big like hedgehog Sonic. Spitting up like vomit, holding a roots tonic. Give a believer grand mal seizures chronic. See strobe flashes, fluorescent lights synchronic. Hair harmonic, ultra super hypersonic. Beings purple like the hills on hydroponic chronic. The beats rhymes, Mike and I bind ionic. Secret stash in my mind, John mnemonic. Fez in the pump up the jam bit for technotronic. Moors say black means death, acts plays bubonic. To say Moors are Masonic is idiotic. Black cats copy like Junior Harry Connick. Playing the side of the order with the Knights Teutonic. Holding a white shield, kissing the Pope's ring with the black cross on it. Dynamite. I'm dynamite. It's dynamite. I'm dynamite. Dynamite. Yeah. Yo, base your eyes on the guy that has no kind of worries if I die. So pussy clock try. No skinny jeans or tight shirts, kinda. No lip piercings without sassoon locks or eyeliner. Nail polish wearing, conscious spoon staring. Stop me calling up the unconscious spoon staring. To chain bricks to wrists and ankles of rappers. Killer priests like crickets moon after. With on black sheets, pointed hoods and all. Back your head like your skull is a baseball or pinata. You tough boys don't want drama. You don't want to get bit by my piranhas. Sharks that I swim with take more than legs and arms. Shango or Kali, if you're lucky, my right to bear arms is what I exercise. Cause if I call Orishas, it's a cult mixed with voodoo and Santeria. Not even was Ouija. Veil and cloak rituals close to you, but you can't see me. Looking in your face as you pass me by like far side. Calling spirits from the underworld and dark side. Go to the Medu Center, invoke higher, not lower heavens. Neo saw the Matrix, I see 11s, 22s, 33s, and 44s on dream realms. About an alligator, man, and warty boars. Vampiric weapons, exo not exoteric. Barbaric pirate, but don't call me barbaric. Don't call a medic, you better call a grave digger. Or call a rep as you tap out cause your legs four-figured. I'm not that nigga, jigger, or rapping tigger. More like a Moorish snooker, hustler, and trigger. Base your eyes on the guy that has no kind of worries if I die. So pussy clock try. Base your eyes on the guy that has no kind of worries if I die. So pussy clock try.
One must be in the honor of one's mothers and fathers. This is why nationality is important, not just here in the world. But this is also why the Europeans here took our nationality and put brands on us and start teaching the Negro preachers to tell us they were Afrocentric identity.
Green fish. What up, what up, what up, what up? Feeling this one. I know you'll be feeling this one. Iron Sheep. Not that one. Moorish MC. As a slave, you know from where you came had a name. Ancestral estate claim, blacks always refrain. They don't want to be Muslim or study Islam. Crack a hippie on the wall got me asking who's this man, cause he don't look like burnt grass from Revelation. Solomon said he was black but belonged to a nation. So don't bring that, it don't matter when we speak. Mon told me he wouldn't make it in the mountaintop speech. El told you about Necro and Negro. Blacks didn't found shit, nigga. Humble your ego. Take some time to study, learn for once. Two continent named people are minors and think like a dunce. Cunts. No matter what they do or what they say, they won't seek nationality the order of the day. So they stay begging for rights, calling people racist, playing all themselves but don't know the base. No matter what they do or what they say, they won't seek nationality the order of the day. So they stay begging for rights, calling people racist, claim to know themselves but don't know the base. Inquisition, you punks. Pope Francis used his authority to denounce the Catholic Christian doctrine of discovery. Ended the statute of ultra-vires, revealed the hidden oath of the lawyer vampire, shutting down the squires and de facto empires. Got my Juali shield walking through the fires of the Sodom and Gomorrah, modern day Rome, burning down to the ground, revealing my ancestral home. Northwest of Mexum, the Moors are back, enforcing the American Constitution, not the corporate acts or statutes or ordinances. Use will, no praying like mantis. From within is the rise of Lemuria and Atlantis. No matter what they do or what they say, they won't seek nationality the order of the day. So they stay begging for rights, calling people racist, claiming all themselves but don't know the basics. No matter what they do or what they say, they won't seek nationality the order of the day. So they stay begging for rights, calling people racist, claiming all themselves but don't know the basics.
This is also why the Europeans here took our nationality and put brands on us and start teaching the Negro preachers to tell us they were Afrocentric identities. So our people are walking around calling themselves Negro, black, and colored and feeling free to do that, not knowing that it makes them non-descendable. And when you give them the law facts, they think you're competing with the schools of thought, would have nothing to do with anything that's on the discussion. It is legal status.
You sluts can't fuck with the Cujo. You sluts can't fuck with the Cujo.
Baby starts spitting flow, it's the more MC. No status rappers need to recognize Allah sent me to rep the prophet on beats, not Muhammad or Buddha. For hashish when I flow, watch your head for hookah. Whatever you think you started, it's about to end. Shimmer all base me at your head and your lady friend. I watch no face, I don't care what you hear or heard. You won't see what I see with third eyes blurred. Hip hop nerd at night, I read till my eyes bleed. I affirm you bleeding. I got titles, you want these, I got nationality. You want ECCs and PPSA for freedom. You can't freedom with hearsay. When I spit, call me pepper spray, verbograph artist. Blacks always shot upon yourself the color of target. Systems crashing, I noticed that they closed all the targets. Blacks enslaved them, got the stocks, crashing the markets. Who? What?
Young sluts can't fuck with the Cujo.
Who? What?
Young sluts can't fuck with the Cujo.
RAPPERSTODAY. Talk with tongues forked and dressed like party guys. I'm different and will not be compared to them. Every youth claims to have guns, but I'm not scared of them. We walking on their blocks, won't mess with muzzle locks. Especially after I use law and back down those cops, kidnapping them and giving Billy Club shots and slapping. Sniffing stolen coke off the dash in their paddy wagon, reaching off of office between bars like a chorus. All they want is black man fam at the chorus. I'm going at all our principles and subordinates. Moorish MC, don't care for statues and ordinance. Feathers make matter, trace it up when we step in. If I plead, it's X relation on the fraud and misrepping. Standing on squares like Tekken. You fall obelisk, leave whack rappers calling up fun feels like fucking fists. What?
Yo, sluts can't fuck with a cool yo.
Who?
Yo.
I'm bucking at the Antichrist. I'm bucking at the Antichrist. I'm bucking at the Antichrist. So all the rappers ducking. Impropria persona is the status I'm stuck in. If you get with this, they won't treat you like black sheep. The choice is yours, whether you want to stay awake or stay asleep. All out of rappers for check, keep it shallow and stay deep. When pigs kidnap blue pill, I didn't hear a peep. From kill, crack, and Negroes, I notice your state of matter is soft like porridge. So what you say, it don't really matter. Won't call you imam looking like Abdullah the butcher. Tenderizing the halal pork chops and pressure cookers. Speculative, never acting through phone cameras. You lookers have no balls like at the end of a game of snooker. Punks like saying you're Jew when you're really a German. Punks calling ancestors black when they're wearing a turban. Punks punch with lines with their bin and rhymes. I just tell Orishas of your sins and watch comic fans climb.
Yo, sluts can't fuck with a cool yo. Yo, sluts can't fuck with a cool yo. Yo, sluts can't fuck with a cool yo. Yo, sluts can't fuck with a cool yo.
Young pups playing. Let's see how much they're gonna play after this is done, since they like playing. So we already know that certain people out here, since they do online stuff only and have no life, we know that they love to call people's name. They love to call people's name just so they can get their little likes and all that stuff. They know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. And it's been put out a little while ago that don't play around with the master teachers and don't play around with Cujo, because Cujo is not these Moors out here in the temple that you guys are, that just let you run amok and don't say anything. Who's going to say something? And then when something's said, then they want to go complain to YouTube and talk about he used my stuff and he shouldn't have did that and whatever else. But it's okay, because
and meddle into this municipalities of.
This is just where I go. It has nothing to do with anybody else. And based on my track record with addressing a lot of these dirty Moors, people stop talking BS after Cujo usually does a video about them. Most of the time, they stop talking BS. You name the school of thought. Ammon Ra guys, Brother Sheldon did a video about them, shut them the hell up. Stop talking about Moors. Seti, Pharaoh, did a video about them, they stopped talking BS. YouTube guys who wanted to be famous, going on the Sonator casting couch and all stuff like that, right? Getting finger steamed by Sonator and all that stuff in order to put out a video, talk BS about the Moors and Noble Drew Ali, Imam Bashir, Wonder Twins, whoever, you name them, Dr. Reggie, you ever name him, Sonator himself, put out a video, stop talking BS. Facebook guys who only want to go live on Facebook talk BS. Zip the lip. If you want to talk BS at MHHS class, get strangled in the elevator, disappear for 3 years, and then pop up out of nowhere, still talking the same BS. Because people like to play games out here. And we know that they're playing games because somebody has to send these people. There's no way that these people are just sitting at home one day and said, hey, I'm just going to start talking BS about the mothers. I'm going to start talking BS about Taj Tariq Bey. I'm going to start talking BS about Canaanland, Moors, and Cujo. I'm going to start talking BS about whoever else is out there that's an active Moor doing something more than these Screenshare faceless people are doing. And again, I know for a fact that exposing people's folly makes them shut the hell up. Because once you expose their folly, you know, what they're going to say after you expose their folly. That's why we took the video that he made, we put it on our channel so everybody could see the folly. And based on the comments on the video, everybody saw the video and saw that it was folly. So we're going to go through some things today. As usual, take every situation and make it a teaching moment. One of the Moors sent me a message earlier today saying that he feels so sorry for the new Moors and the stuff that they got to deal with coming to this information about nationality and birthrights. So I second that. I feel sorry for new people who they have to go online and push something to learn, because these people are playing all you people. Playing you. And then, like the cowards that a lot of these people are, after they get played, they're not going to go strangle the guy that played them. They're going to say, forget this Moorish stuff and walk away from their own birthright like a coward, instead of standing up to these traitors. These traitors who are known traitors. You just listen to what temples they mention. You just listen to what jurisdictions that they say that they're in. Just ask them who their Grand Sheik is. Traitors out here, running rampant. Running rampant. Like a dirty Moor infestation going on. There's dirty Moors all over the place. Just got a call today. Last 2 weeks, we've been dealing with these dirty Moors out here in this jurisdiction, where there was no dirty Moors before. Now there's dirty Moors here. You ask them, who they're riding with? Oh, they're riding with USAR. They're riding with Braswell Bay. They're riding with Bratton Bay. They're riding with all these traitors. And then they're bringing their traitors, whatever, here to try to stagnate what it is that's going on here. These same dirty Moors who we put them on to how this is supposed to run. They're out here calling themselves lawyer, convincing people that they're a lawyer, but a Moorish lawyer. And not only are they a Moorish lawyer, but they have a right to charge people a retainer. These are Moors. Charge people a retainer of thousands for some paperwork that they got from us for free. Not some paperwork that they made up and they can say, oh yeah, we made this up, we can charge you $3 grand because we made this up. No, paperwork that they got from us for free because they were members of our temple. And then they took that paperwork and they went out there, add some whatever to it, made a fake seal, and now there's some lawyer telling people nationality and birthrights, $5 grand, $3 grand. This is what people are doing with the birthright. This is the position that people are taking with what Noble Drew Ali brought to save the nations. Noble Drew Ali brought it to save the nations, and people are taking it and telling people $3 grand, $5 grand, claiming that they're lawyers, claiming that they're some supreme authority of something. And Moors who are active, nobody want to hear what active Moors are saying. That's why we're telling you. That's why we know why Asir, the Duke of Tears, took his classes underground. You want to go to his class? Find his email and you message him, and you don't get the good stuff online. You go underground for that. Like Mario Bey took down all his videos, said F everybody. Take down everything. You want something? Go to the website, go support. FOH. Because of dirty Moors that came into this and playing around, having you think that there's some type of infighting with Moors. They're not infighting with Moors. Active Moors already know it's good. We're not confused about what this is. Trust that. We already know what this is. We know what this is. And what is this? This is about bringing the people back into the constitutional fold of government and teaching them the truth about their nationality and birthrights. By doing that, you're uplifting fallen humanity. And if you only wake up one, good job. If you only wake up one, you get the wiserhood. All you gotta do is wake up one. That's all. Now, to quote Noble Drew Ali, Detroit and Chicago is going to be doomed for what they did to the Prophet. Which state has the highest murder capital again? Chicago, right? Oh, okay. You think they have the highest murder capital? You think children are getting shot up in houses, just sleeping in their bed? And dad is just washing dishes and getting shot through the window because Chicago's not doomed? That's not no goddamn Mecca. What Mecca? That might have been Mecca when Noble Drew Ali was around. That's not no Mecca now. More saying Chicago is Mecca now, that's just talk. Y'all just talking. Because these people have done nothing to make that place be Mecca. Nothing. Did absolutely nothing. Did absolutely nothing. Zero. All you did was play your little Masonic games. All you Chicago Moors. When we got our charter, there was some sincere Moors in Mecca. There were Moors who were active. There were Moors who were unified. There were Moors who realized that at Grand Major Temple, when the Supreme Grand Sheikh had his gay porn and all that type of stuff, gay porn magazines and all that, they said, F this. And they started saying that they're Grand Major Temple. Because there's no way some gay porn guy is some Supreme Grand Sheik of Moorish Science Temple. No way. And I know, they verified, they showed the pictures, because of course they had to document it, because nobody's going to believe that Supreme Grand Sheik has gay porn. Yeah, they documented it. But guess what happened? Some people on their side of the movement, they're too coward or whatever, sold that out. What did they start doing? They started lying to people, telling people, oh yeah, you know what? Oh, you're making payments on a car? Oh, before we get there, these Moors had fleets of cars with Moorish tags. No issues. I was there in the fleets of cars with Moorish tags. I was there for 2 days. 2 days riding around with these Moors, passing highwaymen, having other people pulled over with Illinois plates. Moors passing them with Moorish tags, no issues. Moors have fleet of 4 cars. Light changes, all the cars go through the red light. No honking, no disturbance, nothing. Everybody was cool with it. No issues. Why? Because, oh yeah, those are the Moors. They're about love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. They do food drives. They go to the community center. They got a basketball league running. They're doing things for the community. They're doing things for the community. What these infiltrators do? Start telling people, oh yeah, take these cars that you're paying for and just take off the plates, put on these Moorish plates or whatever, and then now you own the car. No, you don't. You own something that's registered to them, and then put your tags on it when it's registered to them. But that's how you know these people were infiltrators. Because everybody who had Moorish tags, when we went to Mecca, everybody had their property not registered with that jurisdiction called Chicago. They had their allodial title. They had their manufacturer certificate of origin. Remember, they were passing highwaymen with people with Illinois plates pulled over. Now, the infiltration happened, and then those body of Moors got disbanded because of infiltration, not because of they're doing something wrong, because this doesn't work, highwaymen or whatever. No. It was people who looked just like them that sold this out. People who looked just like them is who sold it out. And guess what? All those people who were, well, not all, 60% of those people who were, we're not messing with those guys. They're gay porn and all that stuff, Grand Major Temple, gay porn. We're not even messing with them. 60% of the people who left that went right back to that gay porn Grand Major Temple. And they're still around today, claiming that there's some Grand Major Temple with all this murders and killing and whatever going on in Chicago. These people not doing a goddamn thing about it. Why aren't they doing anything about it? Because they played around with Noble Drew Ali, and he warned them that this place is doomed for what they did to the Prophet. Well, look at Detroit right now. What Detroit got? They got something going on? What they got going on? What they got going on? They don't even have, they're still drinking bottled water over there. You really think that's not Noble Drew Ali's prophecy manifesting? Oh, that's not Noble Drew Ali's prophecy. Oh, that's the Europeans did something, and that's why Detroit is in shambles right now. Oh no, all that stuff has to go down because of Fard Muhammad, Elijah Poole Bey, and all the crew, David Ford L., all the crew who left Noble Drew Ali's temple, put up the sign up there talking about, yeah, this is what it's about right now and all that stuff, and then not telling people about their nationality and birthrights. Sellouts. That's what's going on right now. That's what you see going on right now. And like the Moor said, praise Allah that we were brought into this in 2008 before all this BS that people got to deal with, called being part of the Moorish movement. Praise Allah that when we checked the landscape, when we brought into this, it was only active Moors. There was no dirty Moors. All the dirty Moors were hiding. Their head was in a hole. They weren't talking like they're talking now. None of these dirty Moors were talking. Nobody had BS to say about RV Bey publications. Nobody had BS to say about, well, they always had BS to say about Taj Street Bey if you ask them. Right? Just like the Moor who went to Sadiel's temple just because, you know, he was been with the Grand Sheik. He's like, watch these Moors. These Moors are, nah, I'm just going to go to the temple, check it out because, you know, why not? Just go check it out. All right. You know, well, make sure when you go check it out, come back, report. Let me know what went down. Go to the temple, have the little Friday meeting, you know. More ask question, hey, Constitution, active talk, or whatever like that. Oh, no, we don't deal with that here and all that stuff. But don't worry, we'll talk after. You know what I'm saying? You hold on. This is Ras Sadiel. They go to this little meeting after now. And all they could do is talk about how wrong Taj Street Bey is. That's all they could do. Talk wrong. Talk super wrong about Taj Street Bey. And then for the record, I don't mess with consular court and all that stuff and all that. So don't even try to play that BS with me. Because I don't play consular court BS. Because I already know that that's BS. I already know they paid off people. I already know they did that. I already know that they're inept over there. I already know that. I already know they claimed that, yeah, they're extracting Moors and they still can't extract this one who got kidnapped live on Facebook. All this extracting stuff that they say that they've been doing. When they're at the House of Ram, when they first started up, that's how they made their claim to fame. We could extract Moors from prison. Why are Moors even getting kidnapped in the first place? Is our position. Forget get kidnapped and have a Moor come save you. F you. What the hell are you doing? What energy are you vibrating on that these highwaymen who they don't have any melanin, they don't got melanin in their eyes and all that stuff like that. They really can't see what's going on, but they see your dumbass. And they see your dumbass to the point where you're not vibrating fast enough that they can't see you. They're going to see you, be able to follow you, pull you down, and then kidnap you. What is your dumbass doing? They ought to tell you about Moors who got kidnapped, that they left abandoned in prison for a year, and then these Moors have to fend for themselves in prison to get out. Now, I'm going to tell you about those ones, but they attracted people. So don't think because I'm mentioning Taj Street Bey that I'm down with some consular court BS. F anybody thinking that. Because I don't do consular court. I already had my emails with Shayla Moore Bey, and I already know. And don't tell me about, well, if Taj is a grown man. He's an elder. Don't ask me about why he's doing something. You go ask him yourself. Don't ask me questions. All I know, I don't do consular court. But I know I wouldn't be on this birthright the way that I'm on it if it wasn't for some Moore's order of the round table. I wouldn't be doing this like this if it wasn't for some Grand Sheik Nature El Bey. I wouldn't be doing this how I'm doing it if it wasn't for some Rosmariah Bey and some Annie Edel. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for some MHHS and some Blog Talk Radio. I wouldn't be doing it like this if it wasn't for some Alim Bey and the Washita, Obashango L. Wouldn't be doing it like this if it wasn't for some Hakeem Bey, some C. Freeman L. Definitely wouldn't be doing it like this if it wasn't for some Fontea cell. Would never ever be even thinking about doing it like this if it wasn't for some Asir the Duke of Tears and Selena Cordoba L. Guaranteed. But don't think because call those names that we ride with everything that people are doing or whatever, because those people who we ride with told us don't follow them. Clear, plain as day. Don't follow what we're doing. You go study and do what it is you got to do. You got your own jurisdiction up there in Canaanland to worry about. You don't worry about what we're doing. You worry about those Moors in Canaanland. Point taken. So I don't hear anybody talking about consular court in the chat and all that stuff because we don't deal with none of that BS. But you say that you follow Taj. No, didn't I just tell you that we don't follow people? We don't follow. We give honors to who put us on to this information the proper way. We give honors to them, but we're not followers of anybody. And we don't make people followers of us. I'm not people's grand sheep because they follow me. I'm people's grand sheep because they are giving honors to what it is I did for them, whatever it is that I did for them. People known and unknown. There's no following going on over here. Zero following. Oh yeah, I can't forget Elihu Pleasant Bey. Know that when you march American girl. No, don't get it messed up. Don't get it messed up. We revolve around all Moors who are doing something active to assist the people. That's just how we're brought up. You can go on Canaanland Moors and you can pull up anybody on Skype and we got stuff. Oh yeah, can't forget Brother Jabbar Gainesville. Like all these Moors that are active that I just mentioned are all the Moors that when we came into this, that's who was on the forefront. Even Sharif Bey, because he was doing lectures at the temple of the Moors who brought us in this. And trust me, he wasn't talking all that BS that he's talking today. He wasn't talking all that BS. He wasn't talking all that we're not sovereign and all that type of stuff, because the Moors who brought us into this, trust me, they had their own tags. They were going to these tribunals, stuff dismissed. Matter of fact, when they go to tribunals, goddamn courts closed that day. Doors locked. Oh yeah, court's closed today. What do you mean it's closed? It's just closed. What do you mean it's closed? Close the door. Is it open? No, it's closed. Why? Because Moors had court that day. And they know when those Moors go to court, they're not going to court to go free their self off their charges. They're going to court to give out as much pamphlets, flyers, whatever they can give out. And tell everybody, oh yeah, you know, we're going to be in room, whatever. Come watch us get this stuff dismissed. They weren't in there giving out flyers for come to the temple. They were there giving flyers out to say, come to our room. Come watch, because they already know they're going to kick everybody out. And it's just going to be them in there. All right, well, we just told the whole court to come check our stuff out so we can see what's going on. Guess what that does? That clogs up the system. Because now everybody is going to be saying, hold on a second. These guys just went in there. They said something. I don't know what the hell they said. And then their stuff dismissed. Hold on a second. And then they're gonna go talk to them after the court thing. And then those Moors are gonna say, oh yeah, come by the temple or whatever like that. And then when they go by the temple, they got Monday, they got something going on. Tuesday, they got something going on. Wednesday, they got something going on. Thursday, they got something going on. Friday, they got something going on. Saturday, they got something going on. That's how they got stuff going on at the temple. And then when they go in there, there's not no sing and pray and sing hymns to Noble Drew Ali and talk about the Quran all night and all that stuff. So we give honors to all those who came before us and laid the road down, put the lines and everything. Put the little median on the side, you crash your car, you don't go off the cliff and all that stuff. Moors laid it all down for us. So when we come around now and we're down the road and we're, hold on a second, what happened to the median over there? How come the lines are zigzagging and stuff like that? Stuff looks like it's erased and all that stuff. What the hell's going on here? Oh, we know that there was infiltration. We know that people are trying to change the paradigm that's been laid down. No different than Brother Sheldon. Hit me up the other day, telling me about there's some people right now who are out there saying that some European that calls himself Hakeem Bey, that's really Peter Lamborn Wilson. People are telling people that he wrote the Moorish paradigm books. Because this European calls himself Hakeem Bey, we know him as Peter Lamborn Wilson. People are going around telling people that, oh yeah, this European authored the Moorish paradigm books. You know, European authored the Moorish paradigm books. Peter Lamborn Wilson has nothing to do with Moorish paradigm books. He might have something to do with Moorish Orthodox Church, which was some Europeans who saw Noble Drew Ali's program and they applied the program to themselves as Europeans. And they had a church, they had their passports, they had ID cards and all that stuff, some Europeans. To this day, they still do Moroccan flag day and all that type of stuff. Moorish Orthodox Church. But trust me, no European that calls himself Hakeem Bey has anything to do with the Moorish paradigm books. Nothing, absolutely nothing. This is what we're saying. People coming into this, taking off the median. There's a cliff right there. Take out the guardrail and giving you blindfold and telling you, yeah, just drive down this road or whatever. And they took away your safety. Took away your guardrail. Because remember, they're not the ones on the road with the blindfold. You are. Who do you think's going over the cliff? Them? You know, they're not going into the abyss of unconsciousness. You are. I've already told you that your own's going to put you back in slavery. And where does it start? Where does the put you back in slavery starts? It starts with having you think messed up about your leaders. Having you think that your leaders are doing something wrong and your leaders shouldn't be doing. And oh my gosh, I can't believe that they did that and all that stuff. And any leader will tell you, don't follow me. I'm an example for you to follow, but don't follow. Don't follow. I'm just an example. I'm just a reference point. I'm just a block of wood pointing in a direction. That's your leader. When you see a block of wood walking down the street and all that stuff, talking about follow me, know that they're probably playing you. More than likely, they're playing you. Like, oh yeah, let me just get this thing just so we can put it on. Right? So we're gonna read from Elihu Pleasant Bey, Exhuming of a Nation. Right? You go. Some clown on Amazon selling this book for 600. Why are they selling this for 600 for? To try to get you not to have it. Why? Why don't you want to have it? How come? Why don't they want you to have this? Now we're letting you know, right? Letting you know, right? 11th of July, 2009. Dr. Kudrow Adwo El, Divine Minister, Moorish American National Government. We've been through all these school of thoughts. Don't think that we're not qualified out here. We've been through all these school of thoughts. We've been here, done that. That's why we could do what we do and talk how we talk. We paid our dues. We gave our honors. You're not going to come around here trying to diss because you want to make some videos and you want to be famous because you're a clown where you live and you can't do what you're doing where you live. So you're going to try your little BS online to try to get your little credibility up, right? Who you think Sprague Benz called to go to Grand Sheik Nature and then proclaim his nationality, and now he's Sprague Benz El Bey. Got the Moroccan star with the Lions of Judah and the red, gold, green, and all that. What do you think? Who you think it was? Guess. Guess who Sprague Benz called? Guess. The F out of here. You think we just came here yesterday? Think we don't got clout? What are you talking about? You know how many people we put on? Who you think Deion Sanders' ex-wife, Pilar L. Day, called? Who you think she called? You know Deion Sanders, right? You know his beautiful, sexy ex-wife, Pilar L. Day? Who you think she called when she wanted to know about nationality and birthrights? Who you think she called? One of these Moorish science temples out here? Or out there? You think she called one of these dirty Moors? Oh no. Who do you think she called? Who do you think set her up with the mothers and all that stuff? One of these grand governors out here? You really think that we're not out here like that? You think this is some joke? You must think this is some joke. We're not joking. You better go look up Supreme Bey. You go look him up. See who he called. You better go look up Michelle Gibson, see who she called. You think this is This is not where it's at. Don't hear Cujo saying, you go come to us or whatever. We know what we're saying. Don't listen to that guy. No, these people have infiltrated. And they have a job right now. They've been had a job. Keep you away from your nationality and birthrights at all costs. Tell you whatever, with hopes that you say, you know what, forget this. I don't even want nothing to do with this. Why would I want anything to do with this? These Moors don't have it together. They don't have their own this, and they don't have their own that, and they need this. And how come they're that? And what if this is what they want? We're here to let you know. We're here to let you know that it's real out here. It's very real. It's very, very real. And all this belongs to the people. I tell people this all the time. No one, anything runs this. As soon as somebody's talking about, well, our temple is the one that whatever. Our Grand Sheik is the real Grand Sheik of whatever. The Supreme Grand Sheik is whatever. As soon as they start talking like that, know that they're probably an infiltrator. And their job, their duty, their MO is to keep you confused. So eventually you drop this and you say, forget this. I might as well just be a nigger because I'm dealing with this nigger shit anyways. But only those that are strong in spirit would stick around. Only those that aren't weak minds will say, you know what? That was pretty messed up that that Grand Sheik said that BS about Taj Tariq Bey. But let me just go research over here. And let me just go check a little bit more stuff just to see. Let's just check just to see, just to be sure that what they're saying is actually legit. Because who knows? Maybe they're just talking BS. Oh, maybe they're just talking BS. Maybe they're talking BS. Take a second look. Don't turn away the first time. Don't think some dirty Moor told you $5 grand for some papers, you paid it, and then you find out that was a fraud and they shouldn't have charged you and whatever like that. And then you're saying, forget the Moorish movement because whatever. No, forget that individual that played you. Forget that individual that lied to you about the mothers, telling you that, yeah, the consular court, RV Bey gave us permission or whatever to use these papers that look just like their papers, but don't worry, don't go to them anymore. Come to us because we're really, who you're supposed to be going to because, RV Bey is cool with us and all that stuff. They're so cool with them. How come they didn't just call them and say, hey, could we use your guys' papers? Of course, they would have got a resounding no, which is why they didn't go ask them anything. They just went and did their BS under the guise of master teacher Taj Tariq Bey, who's not even on their conference calls, but they got him on the site like he's some kind of co-consular general or something. And then when you go look it up, there's no such thing as a co-consular general. So how is it that they're going to say that they're co-consular generals when there's no such thing as a co-consular general? Because that means that must be commerce. Because only whatever is commercial. There's no consular. No way. No. I'm just saying common sense. Rules. People are playing people. People are playing people. And we know that they're playing people. Because we're the ones, you know, they're not emailing none of these grand sheiks out here. They're emailing Cujo. That's what I went to this temple. This grand sheik said, if I don't have a red tie, I can't come into the temple. What? What do you mean you need a red tie to get in the temple? What the hell do you mean by that? Oh, this grand sheik said that I can't walk in the doors because what? He just said because and stood at the door. What do you mean you can't go in? I don't know. You just said because and you just stood there. Oh, I went to this temple. They let me in the door. I sat down. I was there for 3 hours. And for 3 hours, all we did was and the guy got up there, talk a little bit. And the Juali, and then the Moorish Science Temple. That's Moorish Science Temple? That's what these people are doing? No way they were doing that in Noble Juali's time. No way. No way they were doing that. There's no way that they were doing that in Noble Juali's time, in the Moorish Science Temple. Absolutely no way. They might have had a band. Might have been playing some tunes or something like that. But the guy's there, and he's there in the flesh. And they're singing hymns about him, and he's there in the flesh? Please. Please. Trust me, there was no disciples singing about no Jesus Christ is the Savior, with Jesus standing right there. No way. And no way Jesus is there like, yeah, sing about me. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. People infiltrated your movement. People infiltrated your nation. People infiltrated your organizations. And guess what? President Bey talked about it. And he talked about it in this big book right here called Exhuming of the Nation, that none of these grand whoever's are going to tell you whatever, because he told all the stuff, because he used to be in the movement too. They're not going to tell you in 1975 that Pleasant Bey sat in the mayor's chair. I'm not going to tell you all that stuff. Just go ask Pleasant Bey. Just call up Pleasant Bey, ask him, hey, in 1975, I was born in 75, so I was still in the womb. And he was in the mayor's chair with a fez on. He was in the mayor's chair with a fez on in 75. And people trying to tell you that this is something's up with it. No, nothing's not wrong with this. What's wrong is these people who have been in control of this. People who they send out. People who they send out from their temple. People who have little influence and little, charisma and whatever like that. They send them out here to try to make you think that, this is about some religious building. Noble Juali founded a religious building for us to be more religious and be Islamic Muslims and all this BS. Lying. Let's just see what's up with this infiltration. Who sold out the MSTA? Right. Who sold out the MSTA? Who sold it out? So obviously stuff was good. Remember, stuff was good before they took Pleasant Bey to court. Moorish Science Temple took Pleasant Bey to court. Why are they taking him to court? Because he was using Circle 7 and he was saying Grand Chic and whatever like that. And they thought they had some type of monopoly on this. And then when they took him to court, he realized how deep this infiltration of the Moorish Science Temple was. And then that's when That's when he said, Moorish American national government. That's when he said that. That's why. So don't get mad at him because he's doing something. Oh, he made a fake flag and he's no, the infiltration made him do that. He's not doing that because he wants to do that. He knows a noble jewel he found it, but he knows somebody sold it out. And like we tell people all the time, don't tell me about Moorish Temple of America sold out somebody. Don't tell me about that. Don't tell me about the Moors sold me a package. Don't do that. Don't do that. Be specific, because law is specific. If you're saying there are more, that means you deal with law. So be specific. Don't be vague. As soon as you be vague, now we're looking at you funny. Like, why are you being vague? Oh yeah, those guys raped me. What guys? Well, I don't want to say who did it because that's snitching and all that stuff. Yeah, but they raped you. What do you mean? What do you mean you don't want to talk about it? Well, they're in the conscious community and stuff like that, and I don't want to, be the bearer of bad news and make the conscious people look like. Did you just say that they raped you? Okay, define rape. Well, they held me down against my will, then they. And you're not going to say who did that. You're just going to say, just blanket everybody did that to you. That's just as criminal as whoever that raped you. Just let them get away with that. Or you're just going to put that on the temple. They blocked you at the door, said you can't come in or whatever. And you're going to put that on a building. Building held you down and told you can't come into the temple. No, it was the guy who's the Grand Sheik. Who's the Grand Sheik? The Grand Governor would, no, but who? Okay, we know it was a Grand Governor, but who was the Grand Governor that did that? That's what we want to know. Oh, a title did that to you. Grand Governor jumped off the sash. Grand Governor jumped off the button and strangled you. And we know people get played out here. But all we ever hear them do is complain about the temple did something. Don't blame the temple. Temple didn't do anything. Temple can't do anything. Temple's a building. Tell us the guy who did whatever they did to you. Tell us the guy. Name the parties. Don't tell me that the white man did something. Don't want to hear that BS. Who's this white man? He has to have a name. He has to have an office. He has to have somewhere that he calls his office. He has to have a building with an elevator, with a floor, with a door, with a sign on it, with a name on it. Who's that guy? Don't tell me the door did something to you. Then, who sold out the MSTA? Who sold it out? Who? Don't tell me owls hold it because we're asking who and all that stuff. I'll slap you. Who sold out the MSTA? There are 1,000 ways in which man may be destroyed, but only one from which he may be redeemed. Only a few Moors know, and even fewer will admit to the actual cause of the fall of the Moorish Temple of America. The infiltration of Western Freemasonry into the MSTA through their Negro counterparts from the Prince Hall Negro Lodge is the foremost cause of the disappearance of the MSTA. Western Freemasonry, which fathered and ruled the USA, used its only spies to infiltrate through the doctrines of the MSTA, their own man-made, unconscious African males from the Prince Hall Negro Lodge. To this day, these males of African descent truly believe they are real live Masons. They probably could be made into true Masons were it not for a few minor requirements. One, all Freemasons have a descendant nation. Two, by law, all Western Freemasons must be pale-skinned, age 21, with sound mind and body. Three, all Negro males were made in the USA and therefore can never be free, ancient, neither accepted by any other nation of earth. And lastly, since the Negro has never had his own country, nation, government, woman, nor children, he must report the pulse of all other profane Negroes to the master he wishes most to be like. Guess who? Anyway, this is how the West was able to quell the growth of the MSTA, through its ability to turn a blind brother against his blood brother. If you have a sickness and do not know the cause, you may not be able to begin the healing process. If you have a problem and do not know the source, you may never resolve it. Like so, since July 20th, 1929, the MSTA has been confused, divided, and hoodwinked, but its members do not understand how, when, why, or where the one temple really is. Prince Hall Masons, with their minds still entombed in the mental slavery of NBC, have been religiously elected into various leadership positions in the MSTA since Noble Drew Ali, the founder, left his human body. They have been strategically placed as the head of every NBC church, educational institution, media, civil movement, civil rights organization, and political community where independent Moorish thought might arise. The MSTA, Garvey movement, and Nation of Islam were not exempt from these overseers being deeply planted in their midst by their European Masonic slave masters. Here it must be remembered, the sole purpose of Western Freemasonry is the permanent subjugation of Africa and her sun-kissed nations of the earth. But because the so-called Negro Mason is supposed to be such a secret, no one is supposed to know he is the lid atop the coffin of his own people. Yet, on the scale of free nations, how much of a secret can the man-made Negro possibly be? Meanwhile, virtually every grand sheik and head of a group of Moors have had these shadows speak from their rostrums, altars, and pulpits, but remain in denial they are the cause of the confusion in their ranks. The fault is not the Mason, because everything conforms to its own nature. And it is in the nature of a Western thinking Mason to keep the Moorish away from being one nation. Nearly 80 years of evidenced consequences within all the Moorish groups, nations, and organizations reveal they have been doing the same thing since 1929, but expecting different results. Why? Moorish Americans, drunk from the wines of Negro Masonic lodges, sold out the oneness and the purpose of the Moorish Science Temple of America. These brothers, with their obedient sorority women, were still fettered by the oaths, influence, and objectives of Western Freemasonry. The founder often warned those who thought they know something to don't get in the way of this divine movement or they would be ground to a powder. But they did not listen. Instead, his own people contrived his death and planned ways to bury his works in feigned secrecy. The true MSTA and its great sole purpose were sold out within weeks of Noble Drew Ali leaving his body manifest on July 20th, 1929. And before the second annual convention could be held in Chicago that October 15th to 20th, the very Moors Drew Ali had freed and donned plain red fezzes on their heads had secretly planned to convert temples into lodges. And again, don't get mad at the temple. Temple is a building. Temple is an institution. Temple never did anything to anybody. It's these individuals with their oaths to keep the Moors subjugated permanently. And again, they did their work from 1929, which is again why we give honors to the likes of Supreme Bey, Hakeem Bey, the mothers, Rasmariah Bey, Anid El, at a time when speaking the truth about what this was really about was so-called lodge secrecy, that you're only going to get this in the attic chamber, you're not going to get this on the temple floor, or whatever like that. They were ruffling the feathers of these turkeys, these gobblers, ruffling their feathers, putting the work out that they were supposed to put out, that they didn't put out. Why? Because since the 29th, or the 1929, when Noble Drew Ali transitioned, since 29, these people infiltrated. And ran this thing into secrecy, because they really didn't want the people to know the truth about their nationality and their birthrights. Because again, once the people know the truth about their nationality and birthrights, then the people realize they don't need no goddamn Grand Sheik. Grand Sheik's their brother just like them. Or it's just like the same thing that we tell the Rastafarians. If Haile Selassie's God, then I'm God, because both of us got a belly button. Don't tell me about Haile Selassie's God and then you're looking at me like I can't get honors because I don't have a triple crown and I don't know Ethiopia and all that BS. FOH with all that mess. I'm trying to hear none of that BS. Trying to hear none of that. If he's God, I'm God. And if he's God, you're God. And if he's just a man, then we're all just men. Stop the BS. Stop the pedestal stuff. Right? This portion is very tedious to write because it borderlines between the fulfilling of Juali's prophecies and slander, pending upon one's infinite or finite point of view. Since it is not the intent of the author to slander or assassinate the character of any man, I can only urge the reader to view the proceedings from their highest gifts of understanding. Right, again, that's because they sued him. Moorish Science Temple of America people sued him. Elihu Pleasant Bey, who was their brother, who Noble Jawali said, don't call the European on their brother. So how come these guys call the European on their brother? Wouldn't that mean that they're violating the prophet? Forget Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, forget all that stuff. How about the stuff that Noble Jawali said that people violated? How about the orders that were given to these same grand whoever's? Noble Jawali told people, hey, you better lace up your boots. All these Moors walking around with untied shoes, talking about they got some authority in this. Since 29, he said, lace up your shoes. Your shoes still untied today? You're cool? You're just not tie the shoelaces because you're cool. We got the Velcro, so we don't got laces. We figured him out. This portion is very tedious to write because it borderlines between the fulfilling of Juali's prophecies and slander, pending upon one's infinite or finite point of view. Since it is not the intent of the author to slander, obviously that's what they sued him, right? Because why would he have a disclaimer if he's just talking about Masons in the temple? I mean, obviously there's Masons in there. If they're telling you you can't come into the building unless you have a red tie, trust me, there's some Masonic stuff going on. If they're telling you, oh yeah, you want to join the Arab chamber? All right, yeah, put on this blindfold and get in this coffin in the Moorish Science Temple. It's probably some Masonic stuff going on. More likely. If they're playing games with you, like you're Hiram Abif and they're Solomon and they're the wise man of whatever, and you're just Hiram Abif. You're just supposed to go build these temples. You're not wise. It's probably some Masonic stuff going on. More likely. More likely, there's some Masonic stuff going on. But remember, this is present now. So they've had time to, make their stuff look Moorish. And we're not talking about the stuff like, we're not talking about the stuff like, we're not talking about the stuff like the G and the compass and the masonry, whatever, like that. And then you thinking that, right? We're not talking about the stuff like, we're not talking about the stuff like, we're not talking about the stuff like Masonic jurisprudence and stuff like that. We're not talking about this type of stuff. We're talking about the followers of that think that they're somebody because they got a button, or they got a card, or they got a pin, or they got told, see that shack over there? We put a sign on that for you. So now you guys can go over there and you can be Black Masons and all that stuff. We're talking about those guys. We're talking about the ones who, because remember, Ain't nothing wrong with this. Compass and square is in your Holy Quran as tools in the workshop of the mind. We're not talking about the workshop of the mind. We're talking about sellouts who came into your nation. Like brother said, all Freemasons have a descendant nation. Black guys don't have a descendant nation. By law, all Western Freemasons must be pale-skinned, age 21, sound mind. Those guys aren't pale that infiltrated the Moorish movement. All Negro males were made in the USA and therefore can never be free. Ancient, neither accepted by any other nation of the earth. That's why Noble Drew Ali said, proclaim your nationality so you can be accepted by every nation of the earth and they recognize what's up. So this is bigger than some masonry. But they didn't want this. They wanted the little pittance that they were getting from these Europeans. From the high precepts of Ali, the Moors were warned, I have got Rome in a bottle and the stopper in my hand. I have brought you your free national name. I have brought you your free national name and the keys to your vast estate. But if you are not careful, you'll give your government back to the European. In 50 years, you won't know that I've been here, and your own brother will enslave you again. Before one jot or tittle of my work fails to come to pass, heaven and earth will pass away. Heaven and earth will pass away. If Noble Drew Ali's stuff doesn't come to pass, then we got a problem. All his stuff came to pass. Everything. He laid it all down for the Moors. Laid it all down. Clean and pure for them. Did they want it? Oh no, they didn't want that. They wanted the stuff from their European whoever's. And they took that stuff from their European whoever's and then were parading around with it as if that had some type of legitimacy more than what their prophet brought them. Taking Moors to court. Taking Moors to court. European court, mind you. Taking Moors to European court to try to play Moors in the future. So you don't have access to your stuff. So you go to court and then now you got problems. This European's not bowing down to you like they're supposed to and all that. Why? Because some dirties sold you out. Now here you are, left to fend for yourself. And then some more dirty Moors come and say, don't worry. Don't worry. If you fend for yourself, don't worry. We'll extract you. Right. You better know, you better study. You better know, you better study. Because these people sold their stuff out. And they sold their stuff out to the point where Moors even making up fake stuff, calling themselves Los Indios and all that stuff. They got nothing to do with Moors. They're not Moors. When the noble prophet, as we know, was born on a Cherokee reservation. So if he's Aboriginal indigenous and he's telling you that you're Moors, then, and he's a sachem, he's a high priest, then what? How come you don't just follow the high priest? So remember, we could trace back all these so-called Black Indian whoever's, and those people sold you out. That's why they still call themselves Black Indians and calling themselves tribal names. And then telling you about some Dawes rolls that came from some Europeans. And telling you about, well, my grandma's death certificate said she's Indian, so we're Indian. Who filled out that death certificate? I guarantee you it was some European. Guaranteed it was some European. Just like European soul filled out, or just like black guy with a European mind, Indian guy with European mind, black guy with Indian whatever, filled out Noble Drew Ali's death certificate, said that he died of tuberculosis. How he died of something that he came here to cure? How Dr. Sebi died of AIDS, and everybody said, "Oh wow, how did he get AIDS?" No, dumbass, they're lying. They're lying to get you to think that he was a snake oil salesman. And again, they're your own selling you out. Not some foreigners, your own selling you out. Right? And again, just go check the flyer. Whether it's, go check the Moorish compound flyer, the Moorish mineral oil, the Moorish bath salts. Just check the flyer. The flyer of Noble Drew Ali, the Egyptian adept, says all the stuff in there that he can cure. How is it? They say he died of pneumonia. How? How? July in Chicago is warm. Pneumonia, how? What you mean pneumonia? It's warm in Chicago. June, July, August, that's summertime. Oh, they made him sleep on ice in the prison or whatever. They made him sleep on ice. So they put a block of ice in the cell, and then he said, "I'm going to sleep on the block of ice instead of sleep on the floor." There's a dumbass prophet. Yeah. Oh, they stripped him naked and made him sleep on a block of ice. Oh, really? Oh, okay. And that's how he got pneumonia, and then he died because Chicago police beat him up. Well, I thought he died of pneumonia. So something's not right here. These Masons need to get their story right. But again, in the 1920s, they were dealing with dumb niggers who didn't study. So they could have told them anything, and they would have went for it, just like they went for it. They believed that Kirkman Bey was a sultan because it said sultan on his fez. So he must be a sultan. He must be the authority. If he had sultan on his fez, well, Noble Drew Ali said, "Don't mark your fez." So why are you guys following this guy that had a marked fez when Noble Drew Ali told the Moors, "Don't mark your fez"? Oh, well, Fard Muhammad had to be the prophet because, you know, he said Prophet Fard Muhammad. Well, how come he wasn't a prophet when he was on the steps of the first convention picture? How come he wasn't a prophet then? How come after Noble Drew Ali died, he became a prophet? Something's not adding up here. But again, 1929s, they were dumbasses. That's why Noble Drew Ali told the Moors, "Oh, I'm here for the young and unborn. I'm here for you damn Negroes around me. Don't even know anything. I'm here for you guys. I'm here for the young and unborn." Oh. Man is spirit, not the flesh. Oh, so that really wasn't him that they gave pneumonia to? Oh, that was just a husk. Oh, they gave pneumonia to a husk, and then we think Noble Drew Ali's gone. And Noble Drew Ali said, "Yeah, I could do more work from the soul plane than I could do on the earth plane. So what are we talking about? He died or he's not here." You think he's not doing work from Soul Plane against these dirties? You think Cujo's just here just because? You don't think Nojo Ali, Allah, nothing has anything to do with Cujo and Canaanland and Tashriq Bey and Hakeem Bey and Rosmariah Bey? And you think we just popped up just because we found out about Moors and we just figured we're going to teach this or whatever? You really don't think he had a hand in anything? You really think that the powers that we wield as active Moors, not just the people who are teaching, or even the Moors who are out there that you never heard of, think they're just Moors and has nothing to do with the prophecy of Noble Drew Ali saying that those Moors who were with me in the past are going to be with me today, and those Moors who are against me are going to be against me today? You think these dirty Moors are new? Man, we ain't getting anywhere yet. You know already goes already. When we start pushing play and stuff, we're 6 minutes and we eat these people alive in 6 minutes. We even push play yet, and these people are done already. We just shut the stuff off and might as well go back to doing our business, right? So let's just press play now and let's see the lies of the infiltrators, the scent infiltrators.
The brother, I just read some of his information, and I'm not in my feelings about it. I just read information and go from there. I'm not hailing anybody king or martyr or saint. So let's move on to Cujo. Let's dissect what this guy got going on. Let's say Canaanland. Matter of fact, let's go to my situation first, so we can see what his mind is at, and how Chicago breaks these dudes down. Okay, so I did the video on the U.S. Justice Department discern sovereign extremists from MSTA and MDM. Taj Tariq has no authority. I don't see how this video would offend anybody. It sounds well put together to me, because the Moorish Science Temple of America is our sacred grove. It is where we go and get this lofty wisdom and study law. And the Moorish divine movement is for the uplifting of fallen humanity, is the spiritual and divine aspect of our nationality. Okay? So Taj Tariq has no authority. I showed you on the sidewalk talking to his brother. He was not talking to the officials or the policy attorney general subordinates. He was not talking to them. He was talking to his brother, and his brother was letting him know it's registered, it's registered. I heard him say it. So he shot the video, and I don't know what government Taj Tariq is from, because he is not MDM. Because when you are MDM, you simply put the prophet out front, and you are a Moorish scientist. That means you are studying women all day, making sure they are back into their proper places.
MDM. Let's just hear what Tashriq Bey has to say about MDM.
So if you look at the movement, he says Moorish divine and national movement. So you recognize that there's two pillars that make up the one movement.
Oh, so how come, what are they talking about MDM? Moorish divine movement? What happened to the national part? How come they're making up stuff? Where were these people years ago when Supreme Bey was explaining that the Moorish divine and national movement are the two pillars that make the one? How much stuff you know could stand on one pillar? What type of foundation is your stuff going to have if it only has one pillar? So they take a pillar away and try to convince you that this is just divine, because they know, just like Noble Drew Ali's time, that people are dumbasses and they're just going to go with the fact he said MDM and then he's going to continue talking or whatever. He's talking about law and all this stuff, but you're not going to include the national part of this? You're going to make up a movement? Noble Drew Ali never had no Moorish divine movement. I'm pretty sure it was Moorish divine and national movement.
You got a divine aspect and a national aspect. You need to know both of them to make that balance. But I'm going to read the prophet's warning to the nations. And in that, I'm also going to take a moment here to interject and show you certain functions that are taking place. This is not a condemnation nor a defense of anyone, but simply to show you what Drew Ali said. Then a lot of people who know the truth about law and government, many of them have been told that Noble Drew Ali didn't set certain things up for you, or that we're wiser than him because we're doing certain things. Well, he set this stuff up from day one. And I want to show you what it is and where it is. And I'm showing you also why CM Bey set up what he did to counter the traitors in this movement. All right, here we go.
Clear? So in order to have balance, you need the divine and the national working together as one. Divine and national movement. It's not just a divine movement. It's not just a national movement. It's divine and national. And don't let them play that BS with you about, yeah, the Moorish divine movement and then the national, and then they start talking about national over there. No. If they're going to mention divine, they better be mentioning national at the same time. If they're not, they're probably a sellout. They're probably a Masonic infiltrator or taught by a Masonic infiltrator who's in control of the movement right now, sitting in the seats of power of the Moorish divine and national movement, having you think that this thing is limited to what they say. They're the sellout. Listen to this for now.
The street is my world. I don't pretend to go uptown and be anything fancy. I can, but I find more real in the world that I'm in than I do the tinsel. And the real world is the one I have to deal with every day. You know, believe me, if I started murdering people, there'd be none of it left.
Let the bass kick.
Playtime been over since y'all dropped the ball. Bound to the continent, there's no asylum for y'all. Pushing the black Asiatic game with Ford L and Pool Bay. Before LOI, I rep draw L all day. How many fakes proclaim to be the reincarnation and claim to be the true head of the Moorish nation? No mention of Mealy Ill, but I read his letters. Dirty Moors mad cause they thought they dead as letters. Many were there when decisions were handed down. Now they claim that Mealy Ill was not ordained, not commissioned, not called or appointed, with divine plans for ages, but Dirty Moors making changes, working with FBI during infiltrations, in a pheasant alleys giving bogey smoke inhalations, and secret laws are made, heads are made in public mentions. Don't believe, get the minutes of the first convention. Kirkman and Lomax Bey got called out as villains against the Prophet Soden and L. Paul Gibbons. Thousands of Moorish Americans followed those leaders that killed the Prophet and made Moors parrots, not readers. They don't study, brains hollow. To crush the truth, plant dissension in the ones that follow. Robbed the treasury, felt like they hit the lotto. Took advantage of the faithful Moors in their times of sorrow. Moments still critical 100 years later. The message: stick to the principles in your actions, be progressive. Don't sell your soul for a title, take your membership role. Watch out for grand cheeks pushing you in a censorship hole. The sellout was great, now they comfy and won't get the hell out. Active Moors come around, they get clumsy. Not humbly, but act grumpy and jumpy. Active Moors see them touchy and think it's lovely. With faces ugly, I push back so don't shove me. If not for love, it would be just as dirty Moors get from me. Hitting all reincarnates and writs of discovery, and demanding the treasury, recovery, and law for money. Wearing a fez don't make you a Moorish adept. Dirty Moorish heads are Boy Scouts and cadets. Working for FBI inspectors, slaves for gadgets. Claiming they got pulled, but they really dead magnets. Running a fraud that's done cause new Moors are here. One for all for one profit like musketeers. Bey, not Tampa or Buccaneers. I strike nerves like hardball strings on those puppeteers. Pushing misconceptions as teachers and calling it facts. Swinging my scimitar tongue, not a fireman's axe. Quick to call me out as dirty, say I violate acts. If you don't nationalize, know that I annihilate blacks. Nailing through their palms and insects on beams of wood. Burn crosses on black lawns in my Moorish hood. Black Klansmen like movie from 1960. White power, not supremacy like Clayton Bixby. Now I run through illusions, battling my arch nemesis, misconfusion. She's been trying to keep me out of course, facing losses, calling all her negative forces. 99 years passed, Juali said 50 would pass, and you wouldn't know about me, or even know what I brought for you. NOI and UNIA knew about it too.
Yep, they all knew about him. And they all sold you out. All of them sold you out. All of them sold you out. Don't fall for the sellout anymore. Don't fall for the sellout anymore.
The Moorish movement is about women and women only. I'm not saying that it is a movement by women and for women, but it is the feminine aspect of making sure they are not out of whack, because we are here for them. And if they are not right, we are not right. So we don't have time to waste. Every day, all we do is worry about women. And the women need to worry about us all day, every day, vice versa. And we balance each other out. So let's go into the comments of these guys, these zealots, these fanatics.
Remember that language. Zealots, fanatics. That's SPLC language. That's United States Corporation Department of whatever language when they're talking about Moors. That language is infiltration language. Remember, they don't know any of these people making comments. You got some nerve calling somebody in the comments a fanatic. You don't know them. They just left a comment on your video. They're a fanatic because they left a comment on your video. And again, remember, these terms that are being used, these are SPLC coined terms when talking about Moors in order to push their anti-government, same stuff that they did to the big chief Malik, Angel, aka Jeff Fort, trying to trump up some charges that he was terrorist or whatever because he met with Gaddafi. Farrakhan met with Gaddafi. How come he's not doing 800 years in Supermax? Jeff Fort didn't even take the money. Farrakhan took the money from Gaddafi, $5 million. He was supposed to go do a hair store and all that stuff for the black people to have their own hair or whatever, because that's all they spend finance on. He got the $5 million. Where's the hair store at? And if it is a hair store, that's proof that he got the money. Then how come Jeff Fort's locked up and Farrakhan's still out here? See how deep the sellout is? Are you understanding how deep the sellout is? Because what was Jeff Fort doing? Chief Malik, he was reforming the gangs. Oh, matter of fact, let's just. Okay. This is Street Gang Alliance Guide. Street Gang Alliance Guide. Now, let me know if there's a problem here. Black Disciple Nation. Active period, 1966, 1969. Symbols, pitchfork, devil horns, devil tail. Interesting. Folk Nation. Symbols, 6-point star. 6-point star. Is it a 6-point star? A fez? Okay. El Rockins. Symbols. Pyramid eye, pyramid, crescent moon, sun, and 5-point star. Symbol usage. 21 brick pyramid. Black Peace Stone Nation. Symbols, pyramid. People Nation. Symbol, 5-point star. So if tall people and small folks are going to have 5-point star and 6-point star as their symbols, then Jeff Fort was telling all these so-called gangs that we're a nation and now they're calling themselves nation. But then he's in Supermax and they're out here running amok using Moorish symbology to run amok. Doesn't that mean somebody sold out? Clearly means that somebody sold out. Because none of them were calling themselves nation before Chief Malik said, forget that Black Peace Stone BS, we're El Rockin'. Now we're going to start wearing fezzes and turbans. And we're going to start protecting the community. We're not going to be doing that gang stuff anymore. There was no terrorists. A terrorist of what? What terrorists? How is he a terrorist when he's reforming gangs? When he's bringing people into the truth about their nationality and birthrights? How? But again, the same way that they did Noble Drew Ali, they did Jeff Fort. Trump up some BS, got him out the way. And then now look what's going on. Now look what's going on. And then they're going to come on some YouTube videos talking BS about they're for the women and all that. We ain't for no goddamn women. Stop this. You guys would be, for women, you would be protecting them. Not having shootouts and having babies getting shot in cribs. Talking about you're defending some turf, which is part of a corpse. Well, Chicago's a corpse. So I know what Drew Ali said Mecca. Because Chicago's a corpse. That's a private foreign European corporation. But you guys wanted the corporation. You didn't want your freedom. You didn't want your holy city. You wanted to play cops and robbers. And again, don't get mad at me Go debate Natalie Moore and Lance Williams, who put it all out there. So nobody can try some BS and make them think that Chief Malik was some criminal terrorist guy. You know, no terrorist guy. They trumped up charges on him. Why he's in Supermax right now. Trumped up charges. And we know the truth. That's why Chicago's doomed right now. And they're going to stay doomed. Who's believing news, whatever, about violence? You can't tell me there's no violence there, because there's violence here. Like we said, how much of you people wrote Chief Malik? If you're so for the Moors and for the whatever, how many of y'all wrote the chief to say what's up? Let me send him something in there. How many of you put something in his commissary? He's in Supermax. For you people, we defend, we rep Noble Juali to the death because he told us, defend the Prophet and the movement with the utmost of your very life, defend this. Now you gang guys, all you want to do is go back and forth with each other. No honor. But you got 5-point star tattoo on your face though. 5-point star comes from the Moroccan star. 6-point star is representative, represents the fez. But y'all want to go there. Y'all want to play games. You want to play games. Keep playing. I'm telling y'all, everything's getting revealed. And these so-called people that are on here with their 200 views think that you did something.
Extremists who don't want me to have a voice. I did the video, it already did 300 views in one day. That is pretty decent. And I already got 8 dislikes. It is about Moorish Americans, so you know Moors are in their feelings thumbs downing my video. They should have thumbs up the video because I had the courage to even do a video about Taj Tariq, which I said nothing about him.
Well, now you said nothing about him, so you're admitting that you just put his name in there for clickbait. And if you're putting names in there for clickbait, you're an agent, because only agents do that. Only sellouts do that. Only people who are manipulative are going to put something in the description as clickbait. Must watch, must see this video. Click on it and it's them playing video games. Clickbait culture. And again, we're telling you, they even tell on themselves because they're talking about U.S. Justice Department discerning something. U.S. Justice Department? That's a foreign European corporation. How are you dissing your Moorish brothers' information to go put out some information by U.S. Justice Department when that's a foreign European corporation? Sounds like you're with King Alfred plan. How are you talking about Moorish Divine Movement, MDM, when you left the N out? Because everybody knows it's Moorish Divine and National Movement. No such thing as an MDM. Noble Juali never said that ever. But this is how these traders do.
I showed you where a law center gathered information and intelligently put it together to show you the difference between what they view as extremists who had already been arrested for fraud. Dealing with fiat currency, they were arrested for fraud, and they're also
No, the SPLC put that out to show the difference between active Moors and Moors who are in their pocket. Of course, they're going to talk kind and good and whatever about the Moors in their pocket who are not a threat to the U.S. corporation. Of course, they're going to talk good about those Moors. SPLC is registered with United States Corporation, just like these 501c3 Herds Revised Statute Moor Science temples playing around like they're for the people at large. They're not for the people at large. They're for themselves. That's why Moorish Science Temple of America is going to go to City Hall, Philadelphia, every year and do their Moroccan flag raising and not tell anybody else to come. All they're going to do is take their temple members. That's not a Moorish Science Temple of America flag raising. That's Moroccan flag. That represents all Moors. These Moors should be on the horn, on YouTube, on Twitter, because they got more access to put this information out than Noble Drew Ali got. How is it that only their temple is at the Moroccan flag waving? How come nobody else got invited? There's Moors in that jurisdiction that they didn't invite, that they know. How come they didn't invite Seton Bey? Seton Bey has about 20 to 30 Moors that go to his classes at the York House. I know because when I lectured there, there was about 30 Moors there. So I know that there's Moors there who are with that Moor. How come none of those Moors got invited? Oh, because in Philadelphia, the Moorish Science Temple calls Moors like Seton Bey and those Moors street Moors. And those are street Moors. So they don't get to do temple stuff because those are street Moors. When Noble Drew Ali said, take this to the hedges and the highways, which is the streets, which is where those should be the Moors that they're riding with. They're riding with Moors who are behind closed doors in some temple, playing church. No different than Chicago, like we told you. That's not no grand major temple. Those are infiltrators. That's gay porn guys over there. We know this. I see in the pictures. The chair with the little thing underneath it that you can put the stuff on, you know, the old school chairs with the gay porn on there. I bet you that chair's still at the house. The grand whoever's house that they went to. People in Grand Major Temple right now are selling charters. I know this for a fact. How they Grand Major and they're selling charters to any Tom, Dick, and dumbass who wants to buy a charter. How are they selling sheikdom certificates to go through the Arab chamber? How are they selling that? How are they selling that? How are they letting any Tom, Dick, and dumbass go through the Arab chamber if they pay $200? Oh, y'all thought we didn't know? Oh yeah, we know. Because we also have our infiltrators. We also have our spies. We have our spooks at the door. Active Moors been had their spooks at the door. And we know what all you sellouts are doing out there. Oh, and you're never going to know who they are. The least suspecting members of your temples are active Moors, secretly in there, been in there. Know all the little stuff that you do, all the little slick talk stuff that you do from the rostrum. All that BS he talking about, yeah, we're for the woman. And how come you guys talk BS about the mothers if you're for the women? How come you guys talk so much BS about RV Bey publications from your temple rostrum if you're about the woman? She's a woman. You don't have no honor for her? Oh, she's more active than you. That's why you're jealous. Oh, you haven't wrote any books and she wrote a multitude of books and you're jealous. That's why you don't give her honors. But you're going to give honors to these lard thighs, pork eating mothers that you got in the temple. You give honors to them. But you're not going to give honors to the active Moabites who put some work in. But lard ass, you're definitely going to give her some honors. You're going to give her honors though. Guaranteed she's getting her honors. But mother who been sacrificing day and night, putting out literature, getting so much damn mail requests for books that she can't even sleep. Get a little 2 hours. Get up again, going through the whole stuff again. Because Moors all over the country are going to RV Bey publications to get this knowledge. And they can just go there and get it for free. And they're not even just taking it for free. They're also going to go on there and buy some books. And then on top of that, when they get their books from RV Bey publication, guess what? They're getting 3 or 4 books for free on top of what they bought. And you go around, ask some of these grand sheikesses out here in these temples, hey, how much books you wrote? Crickets. Don't play around. We aren't the ones. Trust me, we're not the ones. Goddamn smelly culprits. Don't play around.
Both by this company for not being the same as the MST-of-A. The company clearly says it in the article that the MST-of-A and the Moorish sovereigns, a definition for people who want sovereignty from the state. They want to be separate from the state. And that is the definition the United States law researchers give them.
No, don't have law researchers. Call out their name. SPLC, Southern Poverty Law Center, who are a fraud. Europeans expose them. Asiatics expose them. Christians expose them. Trump supporters expose them. Whoever, you name them, they expose them as a fraud. Fake news. You talk about Chicago fake news? SPLC is more fake news than Chicago, but you're riding them. You're going to ride with SPLC telling you fake news about active Moors, talking about Moorish sovereigns like Moors aren't sovereign. If we have a nation, we have sovereignty. What do you mean we're not sovereign? The only reason that we're not sovereign is because U.S. wants to steal your birthright so that they can be sovereign and then rule over you. And then your dumbass grand sheiks and grand governors are lying to you, telling you about this is Moorish divine movement, leave the national out, which means that they're leaving the civics out, which means that they're leaving you in the open with no defense when these people come around. Like I said, we already know what's up. We're not confused. We're not in the dark. We're just putting this out for people who might not know, who might think that, well, I had a situation with a grand sheik, so forget the Moorish Science Temple. No, forget that grand sheik. Nothing's wrong with Moorish Science Temple. What's wrong is the people who are in the seat playing you. That's what's wrong. Let's go listen to some more of them.
And once you study both politics, law, and history, and real religion, you're going to find this out anyway. So I'm just being blunt. And a lot of times when you're being blunt with people, they get uncomfortable because they want you to give them some nice little, naive statements. And everybody says, hallelujah to you, wave their hand and go home. Well, I don't play like that. Because I'm not in the mood for my babies to be going through no nigger problems that we went through. You know what I mean? Our people that have gone to and fro the earth, fighting wars against their own brothers and sisters to keep these Romans in power, and then come back here and march and pray with some Negro organizations that are totally fake, wasting their time, wasting their energy, and then watching their babies die younger and younger and their families fall apart and pretend to be spiritual. And we need to be stop being hypocrites that we've been and start really getting really down with real knowledge, real history, and start solving the problems of the world. Because the Creator made us in her image, her likeness, and we have a responsibility to develop and use those powers given to us and stop looking for something outside to do what we should be doing ourselves. ETC. So I want to, a few years ago, we flew to Detroit, and we were talking to a few Moorish Americans, and I won't mention names, but one of the Sheikesses and Sheik were going into chamber, and we were just talking, just casually as we always do. And one of the things I recognized is that there was a limited knowledge of the structure of the temple with them, and I've been in the temple 13 years. So I did this little bifold, and Raya has always been very skilled in graphics. And so she put this together. As a matter of fact, we did that almost on the spot, making sure before we left Detroit that this was left with them. Because a lot of people were coming into the temples and then they'd be there for a minute and then they'd run. Because, common sense would tell them they need this. They need to do this, they didn't need to do that, and they didn't even know the prophet had already set this stuff up. But they weren't being told. Do you understand what I'm saying? And people get frustrated when they come honorably to do something and then they see people suppressing knowledge, hiding information, taking their finances, not doing with the finances what they're telling they're collecting for them. I'll give you an example. I was at a temple in Camden. They were collecting bus funds like for years. And I'm gonna cut through the chase.
Oh yeah, and this is for people who say Supreme Bey has no authority and why is he doing talking all this BS? This one's for you. Open your ears.
So I came to the temple, brought my sisters in, my brothers, and a lot of people can't do that with their family. I brought all of them in. Even my brother-in-laws, 2 of them left the Masonic lodges and came to the temple. We gave thousands of notes, dedicated. My sisters and them were coming like on a regular basis. And they always had this transportation fund, bus fund, etc. We give them financing, and then brothers and sisters would always have to go pick up sisters with their children who didn't have transportation and everything. And, well, you got this bus fund. Hey, you all collecting this bus fund for 20 years? Where's the bus? So I went out on Route 73. I took off from work, went out on Route 73. And when I looked at the literature, I saw, from what I saw on the prophet, I saw nationhood, if you understand. So I went out there, Route 73, where they had buses, and I was getting a used bus, really good shape, out there where they sell buses. And I got them to bring the bus down from like 15,000, on a wholesale basis to like $5,000, stuff like this, with no taxes. Because I understand nationality. I'm not a dummy, And so I brought the papers back. Then I went to see Bernie Hammond now Bernie Hammond is European. He was like head of the houses and stuff in the Camden area, in Camden County. And I went down there, they were selling shells, like tore down shells around Cooper Hospital for like 100 grand, 120 grand. I mean, these places was falling down, and just for the shells, of course, 20 grand. And developers were coming in from New York and from around. So I went in there and I went up on the 13th floor and went in the room, had my fez on, because I had just came in the temple. I was only in the temple about 6 months at that time. And I wanted to get some properties for the temples because we had a few contractors in there. And my plan was we fix the buildings up, and we would ourselves have people paying for it, and it would go back to the temple. They wouldn't have mortgages. They would just pay what they could. And the women who were renting or single moms and stuff like that, they would have a place, because we got all these skills here. I got 13 buildings, and I got a building on 6th and Spruce, a 3-story, another building for the temple and the parking lot. And I got all of it for $2,200. He told me, what you want? Yes. He closed the door. He gave me 2 books. And remember, these shells were selling for 100 grand, and the cheapest ones were like 80,000, right? I got them all for $2,200. I went back, gave it to Banshee, David, and they accused me of trying to take over temple. Yes, they did. They lost those papers. I wrote books for my children, and they started attacking my sisters. Yes, they did. My sisters were coming in on a regular basis, dedicated.
Remember, he's talking about Moorish Science Temple of America, Grand whoever it is. Same people who are in the chat talking about they honor mothers and all that stuff and going on YouTube and yeah, we honor mothers and this is for the mothers and all that stuff. Peep game. Open your ears. And remember, don't talk BS about the temple. Temple never did anything to anybody. It's these people in the seats of power that are violating.
We give her a Quran. They had this like click thing going on. And finally, through my niece, Kia, they gave her the Quran to take to my sister, because my sister cried one time and left. And so they finally were going to give her a Quran. They sent the Quran to my sister through my niece, Kia, wrapped in coffee-stained, wrinkled Courier Post newspaper. My sisters left there and never came back.
That's why they infiltrated. And they send these people out here to cause confusion. Because again, we don't cause confusion. We tell people, go to rvbaypublication.com. You come back and tell me if you're confused. We're not about confusion. 2,000 videos, no paid shutdown or nothing like that. Every time somebody try to do some shutdown, we send responses to YouTube that these people are infiltrating. Look at all these videos that they made about me and all that stuff, and then they say, oh, sorry about that. When people try to get our stuff shut down, snitching. This is what their job is. Have the people confused. Have the people confused. Get the people in a position of being confused. Because once people are confused, then they win. But why would the people be confused? Because they don't study, which is one of the integral lessons of Taj Tariq Bey, RV Bey Publications, MHHS, Moorish Paradigm, Canaanland Moors, etc., etc. Make sure you're doing your own due diligence. Don't trust anybody. Not even the people that you call master teacher, don't trust them. Fact check everything. Because once you fact check, you realize who's legit and who's full of BS. It's just that simple.
When I found the round table. Finally, through my niece, Kia, they gave her the Quran to take to my sister, because my sister cried one time and left. And so they finally were going to give her Quran. They sent the Quran to my sister through my niece, Kia, wrapped in coffee-stained, wrinkled Courier Post newspaper. My sisters left there and never came back. That's when I found this brown table. And I've been doing what I do ever since, you know, but it took me a while to figure this stuff out, you know, but it's some dirty Moors in this place. So don't you get it twisted. And the prophet warned us and said, be careful, Moors. Some of these Muslims, with turbans and feathers on, will be trying to put you back into slavery. So when you all hear sometimes of the schisms, understand there's a background of history here. You know what I mean? But I'm dedicated to the resurrection of the Moorish nation. And whenever somebody's going to do something to help uplift all humanity, I'm with them. And the prophet said to the Moors, he says, if you're around a bunch of Moors with a bunch of confusion that's not carrying out my law, he said, get out from under them. Go find somebody that's doing good and help them do more good. That's the prophet's words. Here's the structure. The Moors divide.
Simple as that. Don't let these people play you out of your birthright under the guise of they're the leader of some whatever and they have authority and you don't. If you're studying, you have authority. If you, as a Moorish American Muslim, had some situation with these colonists in your own land and you went there and you stood on your square and you backed these people down with the law and what Noble Drew Ali gave you, you got authority. Don't listen to these people that you don't have authority, because they're liars. And their job, their job, is to be out here causing confusion. That's their job. We're going to work on doing some more of this beat down tomorrow. And we're going to put his name in every one of the videos that we beat down so that people can have a reference point as to what not to listen to. And just like we do with the other people, make sure you go over there. Grand Sheikh Kudroel Bey and Taj Tariq Bey, exposed, causing confusion, am I wrong, and all that stuff. PNF Truth News Network, they only got 1.47 subscribers, so don't worry, they're nobody. But still give them a thumbs down. They deserve it for lying on people. And eventually, just like all the rest, we'll see them either run into Kudro with an email. Oh man, sorry, you know what I mean? I was wrong and you were right. You know, I should have listened to you 2 years ago, or they'll disappear. That's how it always goes. I'm telling you, that's how it always goes. They're either going to come back, and this has happened in face. I had Moors who they really wanted to put hands on me or whatever. Then they went to RV Bey Publications and they studied. And guess what? They came back, whether I went to some lecture somewhere or whatever. Hey, Kudro, remember me? I'm that Moor on Facebook that you told go suck whatever and F out of here and all that stuff. I actually went and checked out what you said and you were right. Oh, interesting. You were mad, weren't you? Oh yeah, I was mad. I was so mad. I was so mad, but you were actually right. That's what I'm telling him, right? There's a lot more. Give me a hug and all that stuff. And, you know, if you listened 2 years ago, you would have no problems. You wouldn't have to deal with all that stress, all that bottled up anger and all that stuff. David Banner got to hold your stuff in so you don't turn green and all that stuff. All right. Just no, don't take it out on Kudro. Don't take it out on Taj Tariq Bey. Don't take it out on RV Bey Publications. Don't take it out on Asir, the Duke of Tears. Don't take it out on anybody else who's been out here doing the work for the past 10 plus years. Find these infiltrators. Find these dirty Moors and take it out on them. You don't have to do nothing to them physically. You're not inciting violence. We're saying put out what it is that you know to counteract the BS that they're putting out, trying to prove like we don't know. And I apologize. Islam to all the Moors. I forgot to start off with that today because these Moors needed some slaps early. Islam to the chat. Peace and love to all the Moors worldwide, anywhere you're at. Anywhere you're at. Once you know about your nationality and birthrights and that you're a Moor, Islam to you. Peace and love. Give thanks to all the Moors for their attention. Oh yeah, one more thing. They were talking some BS about they were talking some BS about hip-hop music and all that stuff. Right? They're talking some BS about some hip-hop music and all that stuff. From the Aliites, Spencer Drew, since you're talking BS about hip-hop, let's just put this one out there to close out. Don't forget, this is a book published, right? Spencer Drew, okay? The music video for More Lives Matter by the band Al Moroccans, co-opting the famous slogan while insisting that in America, more lives matter because it seems like Black lives don't matter, and that education and political unity through the MSTA will ensure your inalienable rights, the insatiable delight of knowing yourself and bringing all injustice to light. Righteous anger at inequality and injustice is thus channeled toward proselytization and recognition of Aliyite identity by the state is held up as salvation from the very power of the state. Why would they be quoting some More Lives Matter? Why would this author have a book about Noble Drew Ali and be quoting Al Moroccans? Ain't nobody tuning into your BS. Everybody's going to sleep right now. They're not paying no attention to you. You're not going to pull anybody from here over there. Islam to all the Moors. And again, this is Iron Sheik 6, willofalah.com. This is the song Passion. This is the song I wrote for the Dirty Moors. Peace and love to all the Moors. And we'll definitely be doing part 2 to this tomorrow. More than likely with some of the Moors. You already know how it goes down. Moors had to do their apples today. I gotta go do my apples right now. Because, you know, once Ma Dukes calls, you already know. So peace and love to all the Moors. Islam, enjoy one closeout. And we'll definitely be here tomorrow for part 2. If anybody wants to jot it down. Oh, we got to 15 minutes. We finally passed 6 minutes on something. We got to 15 minutes. And don't forget, PNF Truth News Network, you still got time to come around. You know what I mean? Don't be an agent forever. But if you're going to be making videos and stuff, talking crazy about Kudrow and putting people's name in there for clickbait and all that stuff, we definitely have something for you, because we're going to use you as a piñata to show other people what not to do and how not to be. Peace and love, Moors. Islam.
The street is my world. I don't pretend to go uptown and be anything fancy. I can, but I find more real in the world.
Oh, and I forgot, since we're nobodies out here, I got a message from the good brother Supreme Bey. Releasing these two today, GS. Oh, he recognized me as GS. Oh, interesting. I've been locked in writing these for the past 2 months. Don't Cheat Your Grind, Circle 7 Principles, and The Money Book by brother Supreme Bey. You can go to DCTGINC.com. Has all the information for the 2 books by the good brother Supreme Bey, The Money Book and Circle 7 Principles book. Make sure you go show some support, get some knowledge. Islam.
That I'm in, then I do the tinsel. And the real world is the one I have to deal with every day. You know? Believe me, if I started murdering people, there'd be none of it left.
Let the bass kick.
Playtime been over since y'all dropped the ball. Bound to the continent, there's no asylum for y'all. Pushing the black Asiatic game with Ford L and Pool Bay. Before NOI, I rep draw L all day. How many fakes proclaim to be the reincarnation and claim to be the true head of the Moorish nation? No mention of Billy Ill, but I read his letters. Dirty Moors mad cause they thought they dead as letters. Many were there when decisions were handed down. Now they claim that me Leo was not ordained, not commissioned, not called or appointed. With divine plans for ages, but Dirty Moors making changes. Working with FBI during infiltrations. In a pheasant alleys giving bogey smoke inhalations. And secret walls are made, heads are made in public mentions. Don't believe, get the minutes of the first convention. Kirkman and Lomax Bay got called out as villains against the prophet's order and L. Paul Gibbons. Thousands of Moorish Americans follow those leaders that killed the prophet and made Moors parrots not readers. They don't study, brains hollow. To crush the truth, plant dissension in the ones that follow. Robbed the treasury, felt like they hit the lotto. Took advantage of the faithful Moors in their times of sorrow. Moments still critical, 100 years later, the message. Stick to the principles in your actions, be progressive. Don't sell your soul for a title, take your membership role. Watch out for grand cheeks pushing you in a censorship hole. The sellout was great, now they come here, won't get the hell out. Active Moors come around, they get clumsy. Not humbly, but act grumpy and jumpy. Active Moors see them touchy and think it's lovely. With faces ugly, I push back so don't shove me. If not for love, it would be just as Dirty Moors get from me. Hitting all reincarnates and writs of discovery. And demanding the treasury recovery and law for money. Wearing affairs don't make you a Moorish adept. Dirty Moorish heads are Boy Scouts and cadets. Working for FBI inspectors, slaves for gadgets. Claiming they got pulled, but they really dead magnets. Running a fraud that's done cause new Moors are here. One for all for one profit like musketeers. Bay, not Tampa or Buccaneers. I strike nerves like harp on strings on those puppeteers. Pushing misconceptions as teachers and calling it facts. Swinging my scimitar, tongue not a fireman's axe. Quick to call me out as dirty, say I violate acts. If you don't nationalize, know that I annihilate blacks. Nailing through their palms and incepts on beams of wood. Burn crosses on black lawns in my Moorish hood. Black Klansmen like movie from 1960s. White power, not supremacy like Clayton Bixby. Now I run through illusions. Battling my arch nemesis, misconfusion. She's been trying to keep me out of course, facing losses, calling all her negative forces. 99 years past, Drew Ali said 50 would pass, and you wouldn't know about me, or even know what I brought for you. NOI and UNIA knew about him too. Most thought that they could bury the movement, be in charge, passive and abuse it. But Drew said new Moors would come with eyes open, seeing and knowing, far from hoping, far from belief in faith, master fruition. Study the laws of nature, activate intuition. One day our wheels of industry will stop, and when it starts again, Moors will be on top. Drew Ali blessed with latent power. Warned you, get out the way or be ground to powder. Drew Ali didn't kill you fast, but he brought you your title and estate vast. Confusion continues to confuse, no remembrance of Maghrib al-Aqsa by Moorish descendants. I run through illusions, battling my arch nemesis, misconfusion. She's been trying to keep me out of course, facing losses, calling all her negative forces.